Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. How's everyone doing? I hope that you're all doing well. Hope that you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to The Modern Investor. There's a brand new YouTube video every single day. A very big thank you to everyone who leaves a like on the videos. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We have been, I think this year is definitely one for the books. Really, I really, truly do mean it. Whatever the next few years hold economically, moneyly, in some sort of way, I think is going to be quite intense. The energy, the attention, the money, the wealth being paid to this market, being thrown at this market, the levels of accumulation that we have been seeing in this space have been quite staggering. A friend of mine sent me an article, this was maybe a week ago, so it was a very long article, and I finally got to the end of it because I was like, okay, I'll read it later. It took me a while. Was talking about like the trends of wealth and money and where money was moving to, the de-dollarization that we've seen for roughly around a decade has accelerated over the course of this year. Where money's going, what larger forms of wealth are currently saying about their future allocations into different investments. And a huge portion of it actually came down to crypto. So a lot of times we will get news that this ETF did this so-and-so did this hedge fund. But what we also forget quite often, or I try to make sure that people do not forget, is that very wealthy families are also here. I don't know if you know that. There are, 25 million millionaires on the planet or something like that. It's a huge amount of families that are like very, very, very rich. Not to, throw this in there, but I saw something years ago online where people were commenting on something and someone wrote something along the lines of, what will rich people do if normal people who aren't rich don't join into their economy or their games? And I was like, I think the average person doesn't really understand how rich is. We're not talking about, like 1910s rich. We're talking about like entire ecosystems are built just around these people, and they are, for lack of a better term, completely self-sustaining off of their wealth and their other investments and the other things that normal people don't know about. Anyway, so I saw this and I was like, okay, this definitely makes a lot of sense because these, as I've stated, these families, these countries, these everythings, they've known about crypto for a while. It's not a secret. It's just more so now they realize that the game is on and they need as much as possible because everyone else is accumulating crypto as well. It says wealthy Asian families and their investment arms are rapidly increasing their exposure to crypto, driven by strong market returns, favorable regulation, and the perception that digital assets are now a core part of diversified portfolios. We began to get news like that around 2 years ago. And that, I think, was the, looking back, hindsight, I think that was kind of the, we should have all been paying a little bit more attention kind of thing. When the people from BlackRock told their clients when Bitcoin was at $10,000 to $15,000 that they should up their allocation of Bitcoin to 80%. And I was like, that's more than 3%. 80% is an insane number. We've had a couple of CEOs over the years. I mean, it's been like every 3 months, somebody will pop out and they say that they're telling their clients to have, to 3x, 4x their allocation that they had in crypto to like much higher because the market was poised to basically outperform many other asset classes. I think the regulation personally has a lot and a little to do with it. I think it gains the attention of people, but also I don't think the average rich person is despicably looking at regulation as like a kind of thing. I think they're more paying attention to like actual trends. And I would dare say, don't judge me on this one, but maybe the hundreds of companies who've announced that they want all of the remaining Bitcoin and Ether has probably caused very wealthy people to be like, okay, now we definitely need more as well. Someone by the name of Jason Huang, founder of Singapore-based Next Gen Digital Venture, that sounds bougie, said his firm raised more than 100 million US dollars in just a few months for its new long-short crypto equity vehicle called, geez Louise, guys, it's called the Next Generation Fund 2. Okay, a little bit on the nose. He said, our investors, mainly family offices and internet or fintech entrepreneurs, recognize the growing role of digital assets in diversified portfolios. If you keep hearing over and over that something's going to 1 million, 14 million. I told you that day when Michael Saylor got on stage and said he foresees his charts are showing a $24 million Bitcoin. It does a lot. If Bitcoin's at 60,000 and someone says, hey, you can 9,000x your money, people aren't going to go, that doesn't sound good. I think I don't want to get richer. They're paying attention to all these like big movements. And also, if we, yes, me, you, I, us, if we see that and have gotten news that there's less and less Bitcoin, there won't be a plethora of Bitcoin left at the end of this year, heaven forbid next year on crypto exchanges. Same exact thing with Ether. These companies said this year we want all the Ether. These rich families aren't going, well, good luck to them. I only wish them good fortune. No, they're also buying. But the thing is, this $100 million, and this is one person from one office announcing a $100 million new fund. He's not the only one. There are hundreds of things like this around the world. Every time you see prices moving up and things getting more dramatic, is these people are also buying as well. So couple in rich people, and then rich family offices, and then wealth management funds, and then CEOs of these large companies who are like, we want 1,000 Bitcoin for our company. And then you have municipalities, and then you have sovereign wealth funds, and then you have cities, and then you have entire countries. This is bigger than so many people are paying attention to. And once again, the most annoying part is going to be when the masses finally pay attention to what's going on and they really see how much money these people made. It will have some kind of a backlash. It will. And that's because I think a lot of times if you're given certain opportunities over the course of a 10 to 15 year period and you don't take them, then other people take them and they make money and you didn't make money, people tend to get upset. This is why I keep telling you, understand that you're early in this market. You have more choices and chances right now than other people are willing to take. Wealth isn't made overnight. Like, it takes long, hard work. You have to make money. You have to put it into investment vehicles. You have to pay attention to where you're putting your money. You have to keep investing. You have to wait. You have to go through bear markets. And then at some point, you will look at your portfolio and you have $700,000 and you go, where did that come from? It took patience. Some of you will look at your portfolio, you're going to have $1.5 million. How did I do that? It took dedication to what you were doing. So this is where I think we're moving to. I have kind of stopped. I mainly do it for all of you. I kind of stopped telling new people, old people, anyone I might have known and or know about the crypto market. I really have stopped because I've seen the looks on people's faces not being interested. They don't want to put any money into the market. They can't fathom the idea of putting $50 a month into any kind of market because they have, I can't say those words here, but they have other things to buy that they think will, help them to retire. They won't because, what have you. So, yeah. Hoang said his first fund wound down last year has returned 375% in under 2 years. The growing allocation is also being noted by major banks. The UBS Bank said some overseas Chinese family offices plan to increase crypto exposure to around 5% of their holdings. He said, and I quote, "Many second and third generation individuals of family offices are starting to learn about and participate in virtual assets." This was said by the head of wealth management at UBS. The momentum has definitely built, and I think it's a function of just general maturity of the asset class. We are going to see a tidal wave of money entering this market. I really do hope, and I know a lot of you have. I've seen your messages. I've seen your, here on Patreon, I've seen them. Very happy that people paid attention, that you invested, that you kept your head down, that you stopped worrying about nonsense, and you made sure to put money away so that you could have money in the future. Expectations are still rather high for this cycle, for the September and October movements of money within the space and where things are going to go and the ETFs getting approved. Currently, indications say, things are looking pretty rosy for us. So I hope a lot of you make an enormous amount of money. This is, your hard work is going to pay off. It's just, how much of a payoff will you actually get from this? Yes, rich people around the world have taken notice for quite a while. Their allocations were, just $5, $6, $7 million. But no. These wealthy family offices are, they're real. They're buying up as much crypto as they want to as well. They are aiding in the process of having less and less crypto on exchanges. So, what I always say. That's the rich people news. And yeah, let's move on. Also I guess that makes sense because that's how things work out. A company by the name of Reborn Coffee. Yes, if you haven't been here, we are getting all types now. We're getting hotel chains and sneaker companies and people who make dresses. And I think we had a couple of dentist offices as well, all announcing that they are also moving their money into crypto. This one's called Reborn Coffee. If they make shoes or helicopters, I'm going to be really upset. They've announced that it has initiated a strategic review to assess the potential use of regulated digital assets in their treasury management framework. The California-based specialty coffee, there we go. Retailer said the review will examine blockchain-based assets, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, as part of its broader capital optimization efforts. The company emphasized the initiative represents an exploratory review only, with no agreements made regarding the acquisition. If you haven't been here, again, we have heard this multiple times. There are always multiple companies who say that they're just exploring it. But the problem is that they announced this publicly. You would not announce it. I'm not going to be I'm expecting to buy a helicopter and I'm thinking of buying an island. You don't just announce those. You are probably going to do them. And I mean in the most realistic way possible. If you're not buying crypto, and we do have an eternal market cycle and prices just keep going up, then your reborn coffee is not going to be very reborn, because that's, that's just kind of a... Any future decisions would require board of director approval and compliance with Security and Exchange Commission regulations and disclosure requirements. I give them 2 weeks. I mean, a good 2 weeks. It sounds like a joke. No, I give them a good 2 weeks. So that's what keeps happening with all of these companies. But awesome. Cool. So onward we go with more companies every single day. Sometimes we do have a bit of a cluster, and we'll generally have like 3 or 4 or 5 companies in one day at a time. Yeah, we had a little chart a couple of days ago as well showing, what do you call it? The amount of companies who are holding Bitcoin. And it just looked crazy. Like, there's just so... And I think the chart was also like top 100, which made it even more ridiculous because they all had an egregious amount of Bitcoin. But yes, my friends, I told you before, I think something is afoot. And I think what's on that foot is basically the end of fiat currencies. I know we've been talking about it for a while. It's one of the core mantras or ideas within crypto that eventually fiat would fade, and it's happening. And this is why we keep seeing so much interest in our market. I am desperately interested to see what's going to happen to this market by, December to like next June. Will prices keep going up? How many more companies are going to buy? Will crypto completely and utterly take over, money on the planet? Will people begin to denominate things on their websites completely in Bitcoin? I do not think we're that far away. Yeah. Hope everyone's been doing well. Hope everyone's having a great day. I think that's going to do it for this video. Hope you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.